The average piece of women's clothing is worn 7 times before it gets thrown away. Not because women get bored, because the fabric pills, the seams split, and the shape is gone after 4 washes. That is not a wardrobe problem. That is a construction problem, and some brands are engineering it that way on purpose. 5 brands doing exactly that, 3 that are not. Here is the full breakdown. The Bad 5. Number 5. Reformation. Reformation is the most effective marketing operation in women's fashion. The stores feel like boutiques. The copy is witty. The sustainability messaging is everywhere on the website, on the hang tag, on the paper bag you carry out. Women who care about the planet feel good buying Reformation. That is the product, the feeling. Look at what is actually behind it. Reformation's Ref Scale sustainability metric is self-reported. The brand calculates its own environmental impact using its own methodology and publishes the results on its own website. There is no independent third-party verification. Good on You rates Reformation. It's a start, 2 out of 5, citing insufficient evidence for most of its supply chain claims. Now the garment itself. A Reformation linen dress retails for $218 to $328. Linen at this price point should be heavyweight, tightly woven, and structured. Reformation's linen sits at approximately 145 to 165 grams per square meter. For reference, quality linen starts at 180 grams per square meter. Below that threshold, the fabric wrinkles aggressively, loses shape after washing, and begins to thin within a season of regular wear. The seam construction on mid-range Reformation pieces uses serged edges, the fast, cheap finishing method that signals commodity production. At $250, you should be seeing French seams or flat-felled seams. You are not. Reformation charges a premium for a sustainability story it cannot fully verify and delivers construction that does not match the price. The aesthetic is genuine. The rest is marketing. Number 4. Free People. Free People is owned by URBN, the same parent company as Urban Outfitters and Anthropologie. That matters because the business model is identical across all 3, with a trend-forward aesthetic, premium price positioning, and commodity fabric construction. A Free People flowy blouse retails for $88 to $148. The fiber content on the majority of their clothing is a rayon polyester blend. Rayon is a semi-synthetic fiber derived from wood pulp. It is lightweight and drapes well in the fitting room. It is also notoriously unstable. It shrinks, warps, and loses shape with regular washing, faster than almost any other fabric in common use. The grams per square meter on most Free People blouses sits between 110 and 135, significantly below the 160 plus grams per square meter that holds up to regular wear. Hold a Free People blouse up to the light in the fitting room. If you can see through it clearly, you are looking at fabric engineered to photograph beautifully and degrade quickly. URBN's gross margin sits at approximately 35% at the operating level, but individual brand markups run 4 to 7 times production cost on the clothing line. Free People's price positions it as bohemian luxury. The rayon polyester blend positions it as fast fashion with better photography. Number 3. Anthropologie. Same parent company as Free People. Different customers, same math. Anthropologie targets women in their 30s and 40s who have outgrown fast fashion and want something that feels considered, artistic, curated. The store design delivers that feeling precisely. The product frequently does not. An Anthropologie sweater retails for $128 to $198. Check the label. Acrylic content on knitwear appears regularly across their range, sometimes as high as 60 to 70% of the fiber blend. Acrylic is the cheapest knit fiber available. It pills within weeks of regular wear. It does not breathe, and it generates static. At $160, acrylic content above 20% is a construction failure, not a design choice. The decorative details, embroidery, patchwork, and printed fabric are where the production budget goes. The underlying garment construction is a standard commodity. The embroidery on a $148 Anthropologie blouse is real. The fabric it is sewn onto costs less than the embroidery thread. URBN reported that Anthropologie Group net sales declined 2% in fiscal year 2024. The customer is beginning to notice the gap between the store experience and what they take home. That gap has been there for years. The financial results are starting to reflect it. Number 2, Zara. Zara is brilliant at one specific thing: speed. Their supply chain can take a runway trend from sketch to store shelf in 2 to 3 weeks. No other retailer at this scale operates that fast. That capability is genuinely impressive, and it is genuinely irrelevant to whether the garment is worth buying. Inditex, Zara's parent company, has publicly documented in annual reports that their textile sourcing prioritizes cost efficiency and availability over durability. That is not an accusation. That is a stated business priority. A Zara blazer retails for 69 to 129 euros. The fabric weight on a standard Zara blazer sits at approximately 180 to 220 grams per square meter, adequate on paper, but the fiber blend runs heavy on polyester and viscose. Viscose drapes well in the first week and loses structural integrity steadily from there. The lining is typically 100% polyester. The shoulder padding is glued, not stitched. Zara raised prices 5% in 2022 and another 2% in 2023. The construction did not improve proportionally. You are now paying more for the same speed over durability trade-off that has defined the brand since it scaled globally. The woman buying Zara in 2026 is paying 2023 prices for a garment designed to last one season. That is the model. It has always been the model. Now you have paid enough times to confirm it. Number 1, Shein. The number that defines Shein is not the price. It is 10,000. Shein uploads as many as 10,000 new styles per day. Not per season, per day. A business model built on that volume has one operational priority: getting fabric cut and shipped as fast as physically possible. Quality control is not compatible with 10,000 styles per day. It does not fit in the schedule. CBC Marketplace and the Changing Markets Foundation have both published independent investigations finding chemical levels in Shein garments that exceed safety limits set by the European Union, including lead levels in accessories at 20 times the legal threshold. These are not opinion pieces. These are lab-tested results from independent organizations. The GSM on Shein Basics runs between 90 and 130, so thin that the fabric is semi-transparent at standard weights. Seam allowances are minimal. Thread tension is inconsistent. A $9 Shein dress is priced to be worn twice and replaced. The construction confirms that intention. Shein democratized access to trending styles for shoppers on tight budgets. That is real, and it matters. But when independent lab testing flags the safety of fabric against your skin, the conversation has moved beyond construction quality into a different category entirely. There is a floor below which cheap becomes something else. Shein is below that floor. If this is changing how you shop, subscribe and like. Same analysis every week. The 3 hidden gems. Number 3, COS. COS is owned by H&M Group. That sentence ends most conversations about this brand before they start. It should not. H&M Group runs COS as an operationally independent entity with separate design direction, separate fabric sourcing, and separate construction standards. The fabrics are not shared with H&M. The factories are not interchangeable. The business is structured differently because the product is structured differently. A COS organic cotton t-shirt retails for 35 to 45 euros. The GSM sits at 180 to 200, the benchmark for a quality cotton tee that holds its shape through 50 wash cycles. Compare that directly to Zara at a similar price point, running 140 to 160 GSM. You can feel the difference before you check the tag. COS uses responsible wool certification, organic linen, and Tencel across its core range. Seam construction uses reinforced finishing at stress points. The design language is architectural and intentionally seasonless. A COS coat from 4 years ago is indistinguishable from one made today. That means it does not date, and that means the cost per wear keeps dropping every year you keep it. COS also operates a resale platform for secondhand pieces. A brand that builds a resale market for its own products is telling you something about how long it expects them to survive. Listen to that signal. Same parent company as H&M, completely different product. The label on the outside is the only thing they share. Number 2, Arket. Arket launched in 2017, also under H&M Group, with a specific mandate: build a brand around permanence instead of trend. No seasonal drops, no fast fashion refresh cycle, a curated permanent collection designed to be bought once and kept indefinitely. The fabric specifications back that mandate up. Arket publishes factory information and material sourcing for every product, demonstrating transparency. Their organic cotton sits at 190 to 210 grams per square meter. Their wool knitwear uses Responsible Wool Standard certification, with fiber composition listed on the product page, not vague language about premium quality, but the actual percentage breakdown of what is in the knit. An Arket wool sweater retails for 95 to 150 euros. At that price, with those specifications, you are in the same construction tier as brands charging 200 to 280 euros, the difference being that Arket stripped the wholesale layer and the brand premium from the retail price. The design is Scandinavian minimalist by deliberate choice. Not because minimalism is trending, but because a garment without decorative elements that date has no expiry date. That is a construction philosophy, not an aesthetic one. Most people walk past Arket assuming it is H&M in a quieter font. The people who look closer tend not to shop anywhere else for basics. Number 1, Uniqlo. Less than 1% of all cotton grown globally qualifies as Supima grade. The fibers are 35% longer and 45% stronger than standard cotton. They resist pilling, maintain shape through repeated washing, and get softer with time instead of rougher. Luxury brands charge 60 to 90 euros for a Supima t-shirt. Uniqlo charges 14 euros 90. That single data point is the entire argument for this brand. But it does not stop there. Uniqlo's heat tech fabric was co-developed with Toray Industries, one of the largest textile engineering companies in the world, producing fabrics for aerospace and high-performance athletic applications. Heat tech generates warmth from body moisture using ultra-fine fiber construction. No competitor offers equivalent technology at any price close to Uniqlo's. Their AIR-ISM mesh uses microfiber construction calibrated for breathability and moisture wicking that sits closer to performance athletic wear than fashion basics. These are not marketing names on off-the-shelf fabric. They are proprietary textiles built through genuine research and development investment. For women who find Uniqlo's core range too minimal, the Uniqlo U-line, designed by former Hermes creative director Christophe Lemaire, delivers elevated silhouettes at the same price points. A Lemaire design coat for 99 euros. That collaboration alone would justify paying attention to this brand. Uniqlo's markup runs 3 to 4 times production cost. The brands in the first half of this script run 6 to 10 times. That gap does not disappear at the checkout. It shows up 6 months later, when one garment still looks right and the other does not. That is the only test that matters. Uniqlo passes it every time.